Favorite resume workshop. Love it. I love it. Oh, happy Friday, though. Right? That's kind of like super positive. Happy St. Patrick's Day. All the things. All the things are today, everyone.
Okay. We're ready, Claudia.
Good start? Okay. Hey! I'd like all of your attention as we start with the resume writing workshop. I'm Claudia. You guys should know me by now. I'm a career success counselor here. And just for now, please hold off on questions until we get to the end. If you guys have any questions that come up, just take note of it. It can just kind of get disruptive if it's literally on the next slide, right? So hold off on questions until the end, and I'll be happy to answer anything. Sweet. That is confidence, right? Like, if we could just do this and get the job, it would be so much easier. And I just love Aziz, so. Okay, so today we're gonna go over what makes a good resume, right? Section by section, we will build your resume, and then we're actually gonna be doing a couple of activities in the meantime. So we're gonna partner up, Google Doc, we'll get there, but just so you guys know, so you guys can start getting your computers ready, we will be working together. So I want to open it up to everybody here. What makes a good resume? Let's do hands because we have some remote students. Yeah. So experience? Okay, so experience, jobs, experience, totally get it. Yeah? It's focused and tailored to the position that you're applying for, yes? Yeah. It's succinct, it's clear, you're not rambling, it's not 25 pages. Totally. You had something? That was mine. Oh, great. Yeah.
Has your contact information on it?
Contact information. Super, super important. Okay, these are all really great points. Okay, so resume highlights. A resume is read skim for 10 seconds, right? In the tech industry, when there are immense amounts of applications going out, you want yours to stick out, right? Should be tailored to the job you're applying for. Doesn't need to include absolutely everything you've done. That's what LinkedIn is for, right? Remember that conversation on LinkedIn? That's where you can put everything you've ever done. Keywords are important, eye-catching phrases. What employers want: personal impact, problem solving, entrepreneurship, leadership, orientation towards achievement. I did these specific tasks versus I accomplished these things, right? These are the highlights of what a good resume should look like. This is what we're trying to portray when we're applying to places. Okay, so what should be in a resume? We had contact information, what else? Yeah. Work experience, skills, education. Yeah. So like a personal summary, totally optional, could really work. And what did you say? Name. Yes. Do not forget your name. Projects. That's something technically that you can put on your resume once you graduate, right?
Possibly links.
Possible links, so like to projects, to LinkedIn, all of that.
Yeah, you might. I don't know. Some people say to have it, some people say not to, that you might have on your resume like a link to your GitHub.
Yeah, I mean, a link to your GitHub is perfect if you're sending it digitally, right, as like a hyperlink, but when we're giving it out to networking events, and we want to make sure that's written out. But yeah, totally links. Nice job. Header and contact info, technical skills, projects, experience, education, and interests. Does this resonate with everybody? Pretty self-explanatory, right? All right, this is just an example of a resume. Ta-da! And I will be sending this out to you guys after, so you will have all of this information already, okay? Yes? Okay, let's keep that for the end so that we can have a discussion. But thank you. Just write that down so you don't forget. Okay, so name in prominent large font. I want to know your name if I'm a hiring manager. If I'm looking for who you are, I'm done. I'm okay, I don't have time for this. They obviously don't want me to know who they are. Contact info, phone number, and email. Location, city, state, and address. They want to see what location you're in. GitHub, LinkedIn, 2-version hyperlinks, and website written out, which is what we just went over. What this means is when you're digitally sending out your resume, it's okay to hyperlink, right? So not write out the entire link because they'll be able to click on it. Super easy. But if you're going to a networking event and you're handing out a resume with a hyperlink, they can't really click it, right? That's why we have to write it out. So just keep in mind when you are distributing your materials that you're doing it in a way that is effective. And 3 to 4 lines max. That is the perfect number of bullet points and a perfect number of what you want in your contact info. You don't want to go overboard. I don't want to know, your poetry page or yoga page, you dog sit, cool. I don't need all of those links. Technical skills. Who here has technical skills right now? Yay! That's great. So that's what you want to put. Languages, frameworks, databases, classify by competency, and make sure those skills that you say you're proficient in, you're actually proficient in. You don't want to get an interview with your dream company and they're like, oh, I saw that you're really good at PHP. Although you're trying to learn it, because you guys don't learn that here, right? And then you're like, oh, I know what it is. I'm trying to learn it. That's not fair. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of their time. Put what you actually can speak to, because that's also where your coding tests are going to come from, right? We don't want to get ourselves into that strange predicament. But definitely keep learning. Here's an example of Maggie's contact information if you guys want to chat. No, I'm just kidding. Don't call this number. Okay, so technical skills formatting. Proficient. These are the things that we absolutely positively can do, right? Knowledgeable. Things that we can do, but maybe we're not super confident in. Some experience, things that maybe you're learning that you're now doing on your own. Okay? It's okay to list that out because it just shows that you have the education and the knowledge of other kinds of frameworks and languages. Designs to avoid. Can someone tell me why we should avoid this? Yes? If it's in black and white, you won't be able to see. Sure, definitely. It depends, right? Because everyone has their own way of distributing their materials. But what about you?
I think that you're also attempting to make a recruiter who has 10 seconds figure out your rating system for yourself that may or may not be relevant to their life.
Yes.
Too much.
Yes, for people remotely. How are we measuring this, right? This reminds me of when my phone is dying, right? And it's 82% battery. And I'm I still have battery, but I should charge my phone soon, right? So you're saying you're kind of very good at Bootstrap? What does that mean, right? So you're saying that you're really, really good at Node, and you're almost really good at Java, but not yet. It takes a long time for people like me, for hiring managers, for recruiters, to understand where this is in the scope of your actual skill set, right? I don't want to be hey, this person has 77% skill in Java. Do you think that we should bring them in? It just doesn't make sense. Just avoid it at all costs. Does anyone here like this? Yeah? Why do you like it?
I don't know, I guess I'm from a visual background.
Yeah, a visual. That makes sense.
It makes me more
But you know where this can be if you are really designy? It could be on your personal website, right? When we think about our resume, we need to be clear, concise, and factual. We need it to be easily read by many, many, many different people, right? So whereas your mind can be design-oriented, perhaps that recruiter's mind that isn't even tech-oriented is like very confused, right? We want it to speak to a large variety of different kinds of people in different fields. Make sense? Formatting. Be consistent. This is such a big deal, okay? As coders, you guys should be very passionate about clean code, right? If your resume is super sloppy, I'm not gonna know what else to think rather than you must be a sloppy coder. This is the first thing employers are seeing, right? Spacing, past tense versus present tense. If you are no longer there, it's the past. If you're there now, which you probably aren't, it's now, right? Grammar and punctuation, font and font size, spelling of technology. This is very minuscule things that are absolutely positively important, right? No one's gonna like not hire you because you don't know how to use there, there, and there, right? But if you continuously have mistakes and punctuation and all of that, you're just gonna look like, wow, this person literally spent 2 minutes writing this resume for this role. They can't really be that excited about the role, right? And Jared and I are here to help you if you ever think, hey, I don't really know like if this makes sense, is this weird wording, like how do I do accomplishments, yada yada. You have the support here. Don't send it out if you have a doubt. Oh, that could be a thing. Don't send it out if you have a doubt, okay? Okay. Now, when we're writing about experience, the resume should be 1 page. For all of you that have amazing amounts of experience, we will discuss. For this upcoming activity, we're going to include everything. And don't worry about format, nothing, right? We're going to edit later. Work, volunteer, internship, side projects, research papers, anything that you can put on your resume right now, think about that. Recent experience, I don't want anything over 10 years, right? Because A, technologies have really changed, right? And B, it's just not relevant. And it's gonna take up a lot of space. And if there's something you want to talk about, put it on your LinkedIn. I guarantee people will be on your LinkedIn looking at that stuff. And chronological order, working backward. Okay? All right, so this is what we're about to gear up for. So partner up, find out who is your partner, basically the first thing I said. Open up a blank Google Doc, and we will move on. I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes. Add contact info to your partner's Google Doc. You're basically going to have a partner. You're going to ask your partner these questions, and you're going to be writing it for your partner, okay? That'll take like 5 minutes or so. And then you switch. Your partner will then ask these questions to you, and you type it into a Google Doc. Okay? So everything we've been over, contact info, experience, all that. Any questions about that? Yeah. No, I'm not assigning pairs. So just find a partner, perhaps meet someone new, but that's our activity. Yes.
If we have some sort of version of a resume, should we be referring to that or just start from scratch and not worry about it?
If you have a version of your resume right now, don't look at it. Right now, we're just starting from scratch. We're seeing what you're telling your partner, because a lot of the time we get really self-critical about our own experience, but when you're talking about it to someone else, they can actually take keywords that you yourself say that you wouldn't have even noticed. Okay? So don't look at your past resume. I'm going to start the timer now. And for remote students, please get together in a Hangout and do it yourself over a Google Doc. Thanks. Hey guys, we have about 2 more minutes. I was like, we're going to talk about that later. Yeah, I don't. There's like 2 more. Yeah, but I'll let you know when. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. 1 minute left. All right, and we are back. Okay, guys, all of your attention, please. How did that feel? Stressful? Okay. Was it interesting to be able to talk about this with a partner? Do you feel like a lot of it aligned with what you would want on your resume? Cool. All right, moving on. Experience. We have some not project experience, right? Bullet points, not paragraphs, starting with meaningful verb. Okay? What this means is when you're writing paragraphs of your description, it is very hard for me to know exactly what you want me to know first, right? So when we're reading a book, we really have to focus and we have to make sure that we hit every sentence and that we try to get the full picture of what this person's trying to say. Whereas with bullet points, you're telling me right off the bat what you want me to see. Okay? And when we talk about meaningful verbs, instead of saying, I did this, and I was a part of this team, we want to say, collaborated with 3+ people on this one project, right? We want to make it a hook. That is all we're trying to do. We're always trying to hook. We're always trying to stand out. Okay? About 3 to 5 bullet points per experience, 1 to 2 lines a bullet. Focus on accomplishments, not responsibilities or tasks. Again, if you're a cashier somewhere, I kind of know what they do, right? You're a coder. I know what you do. You code, right? There's not a lot of mystery there, guys. But what I want to know is, how did you attribute your skills to business, right? At the end of the day, companies are still businesses, right? Companies are still trying to succeed in some capacity. How is your addition to the team improving their business, right? Think about timelines. What's in a timeline? Numbers, quantifying, and we'll get there at some point. So how do you measure accomplishments? I kind of said it already, but let's see who's listening. Numbers. Yes, that is how you measure success. You can't just say, hello, I'm successful, right? I want to be like, why? What have you done? What makes you so different? What do you mean? What do you do? You know, I need to know what you've done that makes you this successful person. You're not going to trust someone that's like, I'm really good at basketball, and then you've never seen them on the court, right? Kind of I don't know what you do. I don't know how good you are at that thing. Quantifying, use range, supervise 7 to 12 undergrad research students each year. Whoa. Yeah, Jaren?
Shit, this isn't on.
Okay, so, sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What if what you did in the past isn't something that the general population is familiar with?
Then include a blurb, right? It's totally okay to have had an experience that not many people would know about. You can include a blurb describing that company or describing that position and then going into your accomplishments. That's totally okay too. Okay? So frequency. Reviewed and evaluated 40 to 50 topical articles per week. Cool, scale. Saved company $200,000 to $350,000 per year. Numbers speak louder than words, right? To see this, what if, for example, if someone said, I saved my company a lot of money with this cool thing I did, right? Awesome. How much money? Boom. I now know, and I am now impressed.
How can we quantify that? I have no idea how much money that's saved.
Okay, so she said, how can we quantify that? She doesn't know how much money she saved, right? And that's completely okay. Even if it means $200,000 plus dollars, you're not going to know all the nitty-gritty details. They're just trying to see the amount in general of what you've done. Right? I'm not going to expect you to say 215,000, 250,000, 275, right? No. We just need to know generally what you did numerically. And it's okay if it's a guesstimate, right? I'm sure they're not going to be digging in for the dirt, you know? But that was a good comment. So
What if you haven't done something that has a clear accomplishment?
Okay, so what if you haven't done something that has a clear accomplishment? You mean with numbers, numerically? Okay, that's a great question. So what I would do here, say, give me an example of something that you don't know how to.
I work in a project, but it wasn't launched because there was a problem.
Okay, so you worked on a project that wasn't launched. And the way that you can quantify that is the timeline. What was the timeline of getting that project completed, right? How many hours a week did you work on that project? How many hours a day? How did you time manage that, right? You can think about hours in the day, hours in the week, money. You can think about the overall goal that you're trying to present. Just think about it in numbers, right? So for a career coach, right, instead of saying, I help counsel students into finding the right opportunity, right? I can say, I've assisted 500 plus students in finding an opportunity. Boom, right? Just think about what would make it sound when you put in the time and the hours a week, that shows dedication and commitment. So you can always do that too. And a lot of this stuff, guys, we can go over in our resume review workshop when we have it next week. But for now, start to think about these things, right? If you had a job and you're like, I have no idea how to quantify, think about hours in the week, right? Did you have a lot of customers? How many do you think you had? Did you do pharma? Like, how much medicine did you have to manage? Think about managing, right? Management is a huge source of accomplishment for a lot of different companies. Does this make sense to everyone back there? Cool. Examples of how to quantify. Can somebody read me the top right here, starting from achieved? I'll give you the microphone. Come on, guys. Who likes to read? Okay. Momentarily, we will do this.
The little button there.
Oh, you have to hold it down?
Oh, for a second and then it.
Oh, cool. Learning. Okay.
Achieved a 19% increase in state test passing rate from 76% to 95% for hundreds of students.
Yay, thank you for volunteering. Okay, so how do we feel about that?
Very
Confused.
confused.
Achieved a, well, yeah, I mean, not all of us are going to understand like physics teacher stuff, but you see the numbers, right? 19% increase. Went from 76% to 95%. All of this is increases, right? You are making something better. Okay, now I want someone to read me this whole thing right here. Do you want me to read it? You've heard my voice. Oh, thanks, whoever said that. Okay, fine, I was just trying to get you guys up here. Okay, so creative director, built Shopify store earning $2+ million in annual sales. Created WordPress website increasing daily average visitors from 320 to 2,300 plus. 719% increase. Moderated Facebook page, gaining 7,000 plus followers in 3 months. We're all getting the gist, right? Numbers going up, increases, business, solid. And then the last one is just like an award, which is still really cool. Maximize technical experience, include tool development, technical research, stats and modeling work you did on a friend's website. Okay, like sometimes you're gonna be looking at your resume and you're gonna say, I do not have technical experience. Like, how do I make it seem like I do? This is how you do it. Talk to friends. People always want websites. They're just too lazy to be coders, right? Like, create a narrative. How did you go from your last experience to coding? This could be a perfect time to do summary, and we'll go over summary later, but you can maximize technical relevance in a lot of different things, right? Do you, like, have you been to did you win a hackathon? Put that on your resume, right? Are you leading a Women Who Code organization or event? Cool, add that. Anything that is technical will show that you're trying to get better and better as a technical person in this field. Okay? If you don't have any technical roles, and that's fine, that's not exclusively what we're asking for, right? I don't want you to lie and say, I did some coding when I was at this one company, if you really didn't. Maximize if you can. I'm not going to read it. I won't make you read it, but here it is. I'll let you guys read it a little bit on your own. Same thing we've been discussing, right? Quantifying, maximizing technical relevance. This is your story, guys. This is you. Nobody else is you. So think about the things that make you so individual. Like Bam Bam here. He's just like going for it. Just go for it, guys. Okay, what if I don't have a lot of work experience? Add any type of experience. Internships are great, right? Have you volunteered? That's really altruistic of you, and we need more of you. Emphasize your impact. Expand your education section. If you went to school and maybe you were part of a bunch of clubs, add that. We're just trying to get to know you. We're trying to see if you'd be a good fit. And you never know. If you were president of the poetry club, sorry I keep bringing up poetry, I just really like poetry. If you're like the president of the poetry club and, you know, like you made all this awesome stuff happen and you're applying to somewhere where it's writing, you know, Penguin Random House, and they see that you're a poet, that could be really cool, right? Expand your education. Your main focus will be your projects. That's your experience that you guys will have when you graduate. All right, so for the next 15 minutes, I'm giving you guys a little more time. Write about your achievements for each non-technical experience. So use the same partner, or else that'll get confusing. Look at these questions, ask these questions. Remember to qualify significance, quantify scope, and impact. Use numbers. And if you don't know how to use it, ask your partner. Maybe they know how to use it, right? Do not list tasks. Write about what you did to make it great. Okay, and then for remote, please do this also with your partner in your Hangout or Zoom meeting, and you guys will also have 15 minutes, okay? So I'm going to start the timer now. I will tell you guys when to switch.
Ready.
Thank you. Okay, is everybody wrapping up? We have 1 more minute. Make it louder? Oh, oh. Oh. I love this timer. I'm like, all right. Are we all back? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Okay, great. So activity number 2 is done. We're getting so much closer to getting what we need to have a perfect resume. Okay, what is something technical that you will be able to add to your resume once you graduate? Capstone. What's a capstone? Projects. Why include projects? Relevant. How to write about technical projects. Same structure, bullet points, powerful verbs, project name, role, months, year. It's really easy to know what you did in a project when it's the project name, the link, your role, what it's about, like why did you make the project, and the skills that you used. Okay? So that's like a really simple structure to showing what you did in a project. Link to where deployed. Lead them to your project. Let them, see all of its functionalities. Have them play around in it. Give some non-technical context. Elevator pitch. What did you work on? Talk about what you were responsible for. We have a lot of group projects, right? Like, we want to talk about what we did, but we also want to talk about what our teammates did, right? It's a team effort. It's really nice to be like, while other people worked on this, 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 and this, I worked on this. Okay? Key technologies used. This is huge because they want to know how you've been using the technologies that you say that you're so proficient in. How to talk about my role in a team project. Developed with the Mean Stack, Twitter Bootstrap, Material Angular, Karma, Mocha, and Chai. Designed and implemented a player profile page, allowing users to see their progress and choose the next game level. Set up authentication via local email and password. Facebook and Google using Passport.js. Right? They talked about what they did, what it is, what they used, and why they used it. Here's another example. You guys will get these examples. If you get stuck, you can look back on it. Activity number 3, and I believe it's the last. So don't give up on me just yet. I'll give you guys 10 minutes. Write bullet points for your technical projects. Think about the projects you've already completed. What is the app and what does it do? What were you responsible for? We just went over this, so let's give it a go. Yeah. There's no number one structure. How I like to look at resumes in general is the umbrella effect, right? You have your general thing, and then you want to talk about what's within it, right? So project name. What is the project? What was your role in the project? What were the technologies that you used?
No, I mean the certification, because you put full stack certification, and maybe that's what certification. No,
She's talking more about the projects.
No.
Oh, are you?
I'm talking about the sections of the resume overall. You're gonna start with, a list of the places you went to
Got it. Okay. So the first slide, well, when we were talking about the format, it had that. So what you would do is your contact, projects, or skills, depending on what you want to show off first. I personally like skills at the top so they can see it right away. So skills, project, experience, education. If you have room for interests, does not hurt, right? Again, we don't want to think about formatting too much, but that is the structure that a good tech resume has. And then later on, when we have the review workshop next week, if you want to play with columns, if you want to play with more of a design, since some of us are more design oriented, we could totally do that. For now, just keep it in that zone. Yeah.
Is it common practice to have a resume just one page?
Is it common practice to have a resume as one page? Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right, I'm going to start the timer now. 10 minutes. We're getting closer. And I'll tell you guys when to switch. Like, you can just get rid of it. You know, but for now, they'll know that you're like just getting into the space. So it's totally okay to do the timeline if you feel like, listen, this is why it looks like
I
this.
feel like a lot of like the Great Shopper projects.
Whoa, you guys got so quiet. All right, so we'll move on. Great. Okay, then education. List formal education and technical education. Boot camps, if you've been to others, add it. Why not? 1 to 3 lines per degree. GPA, honors, scholarships, all this again is great, but if you are missing out on room on your resume, we don't need all this extra stuff, right? If your resume already is at capacity, we don't really need the GPA or the honors, right? These are things to include if we're trying to make it more full, right? And this is like for people who don't really have all of that experience already. Okay to include partial and incomplete degrees, especially masters, right? I get a lot of questions that are like, I didn't really finish this degree. Should I put it on my resume? Yes, because at least you started, okay? And yes, I saw that fist back there. Yeah, I mean, if they want to ask about it, that'll be something that we can discuss, right? If you're worried about it, that is something that we can discuss. But for now, just add it, right? They just want to see that you have some education, that you've done something to get to where you are now, that you had some sort of desire to study something. Make sense? Personal summary and interests. This is something that can really help you stand out. Fits better at the bottom of the resume, could be a great way of fitting in with the office culture. Only add if you have space. If not, do not add. Do not add if you do not have space. Put it on your LinkedIn. You have a whole summary there. Do not add. If I get a resume with 1 line of personal interest on the other page, I am going to forgive you, but I will be saying the same thing I'm saying now, right? If you're trying to fill out the page, add it. If you already at capacity, do not add. And this is nice. You don't have to have a blue bar, but if you're designy, sure. But you can also just, write it out linear. This is 100% interested in these things, by the way, guys. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think it's really important to put interest if you have the space because you can fit in with an office culture, right? If you're really interested in health and you're applying for ZocDoc, that could be really cool. You may not have experience with health, but you're really interested in health. Write out a personal summary. Figure out who you're talk about your journey to code. We're all gonna be going over personal pitches at some point, and all of us will be like, what do I say? It's your story, guys. You write your story, right? Talk about what you did in the past. Talk about that aha moment, and I've talked to a lot of you guys about this, that aha moment of what got you into code. I could be interested and think coding is cool, but I'm not gonna go to a boot camp, right? There's a difference there. You either do this because you're super passionate and something made you do this, a desire, a passion, or I don't know how you got here, right? Does someone want to read this to me and to all of us? It might feel nice to stand up. No? Okay. Software developer with experience building both the front end and back end of web apps as well as mobile applications. A former educator, nonprofit leader who has overseen large-scale projects and supervised 50-plus team members. A self-starter, fast learner, an enthusiastic individual who is eager to join a team of dedicated engineers to build software that will reach many people across the globe. Are you guys interested in this person? No? It sounds what?
Like a lot enthusiastic individual, like it sounds
Yeah, these are good points, right? Like, we don't want to come off as I'm charismatic and very passionate, and you know, these words are over and over again, right? Motivated is a huge one. I'm motivated. Obviously, these are really great words, but think about your own personal way that you would describe yourself. How would your friends describe you? I say this all the time, like, how would your friends describe you, right? Like, imagine you're speaking to your friend about code, and your friend's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But you're talking to them about it. How would they describe you? And we'll work on this, but the one thing that I have a little issue with is it's really long. I feel like this is just so long, and this is a very run-on sentence right here. But I'm like kind of crazy about words, so anyway, yeah, like this is what we're trying to do though. Software developer with experience. You guys are software developers. You're no longer, hi, I'm a full stack graduate. Hi, I'm a software engineer. That's what you guys are, right? When you graduate, that's what you're going to be? Yes, yes you are. Yes, you are. Okay, whoops, I lied. All right, activity number 4. I'll make this 10 minutes. Add in education info, include scholarships, create your summary. Got it? Yeah. All right. Hey. Are you guys liking these activities at least? You get to talk, get to know yourself through yourself, transcendent experience. All right, final-ish steps. Oh, yes. Okay, for a remote student, the organization of a resume is your name, contact info, technical skills, projects, experience, and education. Interests if you have the room. Okay? Great. All right. Add everything to your personal folder. That was weird. Folder, as you guys all already have. Format it, prioritize for clarity, organize columns are best. First draft should be formatted, organized with clear language by Tuesday. Work on now. That's next week, okay? On Tuesday, we will also have a peer review workshop from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here, where Jared and I will be bringing in contractors to review your resumes with you. Okay, thank you. Final resumes will be due on Thursday, the 30th. These resumes will be sent to employers before hiring day. So this is your to-do, is format and get it ready for Tuesday. So before I end it and leave you guys to your lives, any questions?
One thing to add, remote, you guys are going to be sending your first drafts to us via your personal folder, and we're going to be writing notes in there. And then we'll have contractors look over your resumes for your last draft review, just so you know.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're going to be looking for a job in another location, on your resume and contact information, would you want to put the location you're looking for or the location that you're currently at?
So the question was, if you're looking to relocate, should you keep where you are right now or should you change it to the relocation? Put where you are right now, and in parentheses, I would just put looking to relocate to, and then do that. Because it could get very inconvenient if you say that you're in like Colorado and they're like, great, let's get an in-person interview on Wednesday. And you're kind of stuck and you're like, I actually don't live there, right? You don't want to get stuck in that predicament. So you would put New York, New York, and then in parentheses, open to relocation to wherever you're applying. Like that's like gearing your resume towards the position. Yeah, Jaren.
Claudia, Corey was wondering, is there a way to get advice on your resume before Tuesday if you have a complicated background?
Just bring it on Tuesday because we will be going over it. Huh?
As that's the first draft, and
Yeah,
there's always a
it's the
second draft.
first draft, so we're like already expecting these to be kind of crazy. So just bring it as is. This is our job, so just like give it to us. And the second resume, that's when it should look way better. So discussions will be then.
One last question.
Tuesday is fine if it's 3 pages long, but definitely try to minimize that just because we already went over that it should be 1 page. If you want to bring both resumes, right, if you want to bring your original and then you want to bring what you put into 1 page, we'll be happy to look over that as well. Yes, Jaren.
Aaron wants to know, when can they get the slides for this?
I will get you these slides by end of day today. Yes.
When we bring our resume, should it be printed out or is it fine if it's just on our computer?
You can print it out or on a computer. It does not matter to me. Some people like seeing, different scribbles on a page, and some people don't mind that I just steal their computer and do stuff. Yeah. Yes.
Going back to projects, what if it's an unfinished project or like in progress? Still included?
If it's an unfinished project or one that's in progress, definitely include it. Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, with our capstone, we just starting to work on it, and I don't know exactly what I'll be doing or what my role will be, or which features I will be working on.
You can just put a placeholder for your capstone. It's okay to put placeholders, and it's okay to put technologies that you'll learn at the end of all of this. You're not sending it out just yet, right? So these are all so that when you do graduate, you can just plug and play and just start sending them out. Any other questions? Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I will send this to all of you guys by the end of the day. And you can always Slack or email me and Jaren, okay?